Hi, my name is Kat Silvers, and I'm the first-year Outreach Librarian at the University of North Florida. Today we're working on the library module, and I'm going to talk to you about brainstorming keywords. So what we're going to be talking about is how to pull out those important words from a topic sentence when you're getting ready to write a research paper. So those important words are what we call keywords. And so when you go into the database, you're going to be using those keywords to do your searching. So I've put together a couple exercises for us to go through that's going to help you better understand what keywords mean and how to use them. And then I'm going to show you how to put those into the database and do some searching to get some good results. All right, so here's our first question that we're going to look at. What can colleges do to promote recycling on campus? So the main idea of the sentence is recycling. That's what our main focus is. So that's going to be one of our keywords. So is promote, because we're talking about different ways to get the word out to the students. And then colleges and campus, those are kind of similar words here, but basically what we're trying to say is we're marketing to a specific group of people on a campus. So that will be another one of our keywords, campus, colleges. So I'm going to write these down. So recycling, I'll start with promote since that's the first. Promote. And then we had recycling. And then campus. We also don't want to forget colleges, because that might be another useful synonym for us. All right, so since we're already working with this one, let's just go ahead and continue. Some other words for campuses and colleges: university. Another word would be school. And also, since we're really focusing primarily on the people on this campus, on the college, at the school, we could also use students in this case. All right, great. So that's our first keyword with all the synonyms fleshed out with that. So let's go ahead and move back to promote here. So when we're talking about recycling and getting the word out, we're promoting it. Some other words we might want to try when we're doing our searching would be marketing. And once we've kind of come up with a project that we're going to get the word out about, we're going to want to walk around and tell people about it. We're going to want to be advocates for it. We're going to be wanting to do a lot of advocation. All right, and another word we might try using is encourage. We're going to encourage students to participate in our program. All right, those are some good ones. Let's move to recycling. So what are some other words for recycling? So when we're recycling, we're helping the world with its sustainability. So sustainability. Also, compost. Composting is a type of recycling, so we can put that down. And when we're doing recycling, we're really managing the amount of waste that we're producing. So waste management might be another one. So we're going to try putting all of these different keywords and different combinations into our database when we're trying to find our resources. And you might find that when you put some of these keywords in, you don't really get anything more than what you were expecting, or maybe you don't find anything at all. But that's the point of coming up with other synonyms, so that you can try different combinations to get different results. So we could try our top ones: promote recycling in campus, or we could try advocating sustainability at universities. So you'll try different combinations to see what kind of results you get. And the other thing you might want to try too is adding the word program in there. Maybe you're looking at recycling programs that are at campuses, because that's pretty much what the sentence is getting at. So you can also add program. And you can even try the word initiative, other synonyms for the word program as well. So great, that's our first example, and I'm going to go on to the next example. Can video games cause aggressive behavior in children? So let's talk about our keywords again. Video games, that's probably the most important one here. That's what this whole sentence is about. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Aggressive behavior. The behavior is really what we're focusing on, and the type of behavior we're looking at is aggression, so that's going to be our next keyword. And lastly, the audience we're focusing on is children, so that's our last keyword. Great, so let's start thinking of some synonyms for this. So, video games. The most probably all-encompassing other keyword I can think of off the top of my head is electronic games. So that includes all different types of games. Electronic ones, of course. If you want to get a little more specific, you can divide that up. So it could be computer games, so games that are specifically played on a Mac or PC computer, and console games, so games that are played specifically on a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Nintendo Wii. So computer games and console games. If you really want to get more specific, you could even put PlayStation games, you could put Xbox games, Nintendo Wii games. So that can get you a little bit more narrow if you're looking at games by a specific console vendor. Or if you want to get really specific, you can start looking at individual games themselves. So you could focus on Grand Theft Auto, for example, or Assassin's Creed. So that's video games. Let's go ahead and move on to our second keyword, aggressive behavior. So what that essentially means is aggression. That would be another word we could use. Another word for aggressive is violent, so violent behavior. You could even say violence too if you wanted to. And so when children are being aggressive and violent, what happens from that? Sometimes you get bullies. So bullying would be another one that we could try. And when students are bullying each other, they might also start fighting, fist fights. So let's try fighting as well. Great. Now we have some more examples for aggressive behavior. Now let's focus on children. What's the most obvious one we can think of? Kids, right? Another good word we could try might be youth. And how about adolescents? All right, awesome. So now we have some examples for keywords that we can try when we start going back to our database and doing some searching. And again, you might want to try mixing and matching some of these because each time you try something new, you're going to get different results. So what can colleges do to promote recycling on campus? So we're going to go ahead and plug this into our database. Right here. So let's go ahead and just use our top level keywords. Promote and recycling, if I can spell recycling right. And if you'll notice here, I'm separating each of these words with the word and. And that's important because the word and is going to link these words together. It's going to make sure that the results that we're finding include all of those words in the document. So it's not just looking for promote all by itself, and then recycling all by itself, and then colleges all by itself. Because if it's searching for each of those individually, you're going to get a whole bunch of results, and they may not necessarily be related to recycling or promoting recycling or anything like that. So let's go ahead and search. So you see we have 37,000 results, and they're all listed here in the middle of the page. So we can go ahead and look through these titles. We can scroll down, see if there's anything that really stands out at us. And maybe we think, this is pretty good. I like a few of these articles, but I'm kind of curious to see what else there is that we can try to get to. So we might want to try and changing some of our keywords a little bit. So we were talking about earlier about how promoting something, we want to get the word out for it. We might want to create marketing materials to tell people about it. So let's try marketing instead of promote. We're going to see if this changes it any. So see, we have 37,000 results now, and that brings it down some. So that takes it to 24,973 results. That is quite a bit fewer. That is a lot more manageable for us. Of course, we're still not going to read through 24,000 of them, so there's a few other things you can do to manipulate your search. So of course, like I mentioned, you want to try different keywords, and then once you get your results page, there's some more things we can do over here on the side. So if you scroll down just a tiny bit over here on your left-hand side of the page, I'll use the mouse to show you. This whole side of the page are going to be where you can limit some of your things that you want to find more specific things. So you can also limit by peer-reviewed. So peer-reviewed means that you have an article that has been evaluated by a group of people who are also specialists in the field. So they're looking at a particular article and they're looking to make sure that the research in it is sound, that it's constructed well, and that it advances the field in some way, shape, or form. So you might have professors that tell you that you're only allowed to use peer-reviewed resources. So if that happens to you, this is how you can get that. All you have to do is just click where it says peer-reviewed, and it's going to update. So now we have 4,000 results. That's quite a bit fewer, and the reason why is because not very many resources are peer-reviewed. We can also go down here and change our source type. So if we're looking for academic journals specifically, so those articles that your professors want you to use, peer-reviewed, you can click academic journals, and it's just going to give you those alone. And then you might also want to change the publication date, and that's down here on this side. So you might be researching something in the medical field, and you need new, recent research, maybe things within the last 10 years, for example. You can drag this bar along here. I think it's easier to type in here because sometimes it's kind of hard to stop that bar where you want it to go. So if I put in 2006 and update that, I'm going to get even fewer results. And it's just going to give me the stuff within those date ranges. And this is really important, like I said, for certain fields, because if you're working with technology and computers, you don't want information about computers from 1985, because that's going to be incredibly different than the information you're going to find today and the technology of today. Same thing with medical topics, too. You don't want to be looking at medical treatments for diseases from 1960. When all of these things have advanced, all of our medications and equipment have advanced, and our knowledge, and now treatment for that particular disease might be so much better now. So just keep those things in mind when you're doing your research. And again, those keywords are your most important part of changing what your search is going to look like. Make sure that you're doing multiple searches with different keywords, and then you can pull the results that you're getting. You can pull the specific articles from all the different types of searches you're doing and put those together to create a cohesive argument. So, one last thing I want to share with you before we're done today is how you can get help. So if you are finding that you need help, you can come to us at the library in a number of ways. So you can call us, probably one you would expect. You can also text us. We do have a texting service. So if you're on the go and you have a quick question you want to ask, you can always text us at this number here and we'll text you back with an answer. And it's really quick too. You can always email me. My email is cat.silvers@unf.edu. And you can also book a research consultation. And this one's really important because this is the opportunity for you to sit down one-on-one with one of the librarians, such as myself, and you can get help from us on a particular topic. It could be something like a really complex research assignment that you have to write a paper on, or maybe it's just that you kind of want a little bit of a refresher on the types of resources and services that the library has. So you can find how to book a research consultation on our main library webpage. Right here at the bottom, when you hit research consultation, it's going to bring you to this page and you're going to be able to select your time and your date. And you can even pick your librarian if you would like to pick me. I encourage that. My full name is here, Catherine Silvers instead of Kat, but that's still me. So let us know if you need any help, and thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your modules.